for SimBoxx. We're down at Collyhurst Moston. I'd like to be joined by Lyndon Arthur. Another tough session, Lyndon. How you feeling?
Good, man. Good. Just 2 weeks. Today is Thursday.
Yeah.
2 weeks tomorrow we'll go against Dec Spelman. So just finishing touches, lost a bit of hard work, and then ready to go.
So what's your thoughts on Dec Spelman as an opponent? How much do you know about him? And
I know that he's a tough and rough and ready guy, and he's going to come forward and he's going to try and rough me up and tough me up. So that's what I know. That's what I'm expecting.
So before the fight was announced, obviously we had the lockdown period. Like, how did you find yourself being motivated to keep training and keep fit? And you didn't have the boxing gym side of things with the sparring and everything. You just road work and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's my job. It's my career. So I can't. I don't just train when we have fights. Train all year round. So it wasn't hard to get a little bit of motivation just to get up and go running. It's just normal. It's a standard life. People go to work, do 9 to 5, I go up and go gym, or I go up and go run, or I go up and go do strength and hard, you know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. So, looking at the session now, you're training with Pat, and it certainly seems that he wouldn't let you off, getting off lightly during lockdown without doing the training. So, you always got that kind of motivation.
Today was just a light day. We did 12 rounds sparring yesterday, and today you can't do too much reds on. Smart work. So today was just a bit of technique working. Yeah.
So in terms of the fight itself, obviously it's going to be behind closed doors. There's going to be no live crowd there. What's your thoughts on that kind of scenario? And does it make any kind of difference to yourself?
I don't believe so, but I don't know. I have to wait until I can. I've never fought behind closed doors. I mean, it's probably like I suppose or guess it's going to just be like an intense sparring session. The feel of like with the crowd and whatnot. In regards to the fight's a fight, but in regards to the crowd, I can just imagine it's going to be like being in the gym, having a sparring session when on a few gyms come down to spar and whatnot. So it is what it is again.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of, obviously boxing behind closed doors at return last Friday, did you manage to catch any of the fights?
Yeah, I did.
What did you make of it as a spectacle?
Yeah, it's just like watching a boxing fight anyway. If you're watching it on telly, it's like you don't see the mad fans in the crowd and you don't hear it, but again, this is what we got to do. It's what we've been given. If the fighters don't box behind closed doors and they don't box us all, and that's it. What you're gonna do. Wait, it's not like, especially fighters at my level or fighters that box the other day. No one's a world champion yet, and no one can really, in regards to time, afford to just say no, wait until. People can, but not a lot of boxers can. So. It's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're watching the fight. Did you pick up on the fake noise that was added? The crowd cheers. Did you pick up on that?
I thought it was. Yeah. I was watching it on my phone.
Right. Yeah. Same.
I was watching it on my phone, so I wasn't too sure if I was hearing things. I felt like I kind of heard a bit of a cheer in the background. I thought I heard that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was expected. Obviously with the football, you can turn it off and on, and
I would rather just the sound of the fight.
Yeah, well, that was kind of the idea, that it was sold on, that people thought they was going to be able to hear, the corners going at it, and then the punches landed, and the fact that there was a bit of noise there, because it wasn't really full on and it wasn't off, it was kind of in the middle.
That's what I mean, so you don't really know if it's sound or not. So I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe some people like it, maybe some people don't. I don't know, but for me, I'd rather just the sound of the punches and the breathing.
Absolutely. So back towards your own career, obviously last fight back in October, picked up the Commonwealth title. A momentous occasion in your career, and picking up a good title. Take us through that fight and what it meant to you to win that Commonwealth title.
Yeah, it was a good, tough fight, man. Emmanuel and him, very tough fighter. Take a good shot. A lot smarter than I thought he was going to be in the ring. I got the W, and I won the title in the first 12 rounds. Dealt with the cup. That would go in 12 rounds, that would get somebody getting back up and fighting back, a strong fight. So I felt like I ticked a lot of boxes for myself in that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very entertaining fight to watch. Like you say, there was a couple of cuts in there. There was the early knockdown.
I'd say he caught me off balance. But anyway, I went back to the ropes, and I suppose it made some good for the fans to watch, and not my mum. My mum was having a panic attack, but yeah, man. It was good experience.
Yeah, so obviously in the meantime, since then, there was the arranged fight with Anti-Yard, and of course that's been a victim of the coronavirus, you know, and the fights that were cancelled. You know, is there anything moving forward? Obviously, you can't look past Dec Spelman, of course, but you know, moving into later in 2020, is that a possibility to be rearranged?
I'm guessing he'll probably go again on a Georgia as the wild card if it happens again. But like you say, you're looking at Dec Spelman, you're looking at me right now. Not too far ahead of him. You can't force or overlook him.
Absolutely. So, you know, in terms of the light heavyweight division, both domestically and internationally, you know, it's a stacked division. You know, there's plenty of names in there. You know, and do you feel like there's added pressure there to keep the undefeated streak going, or do you feel like you just need the meaningful fights, and if you was to take a loss, you could bounce back, and there's plenty of fights there, you know, because
it's always good to go undefeated, but Mayweather's created that illusion that you can't get beat. Getting beat is a bad thing. I mean, it's not the end of your career if you get beat. It's not the mentality that I'm nowhere on this earth I'm going into a fight thinking I'm going to get beat, or the word lose crosses my mind. But I mean, his fight Zelfa's lost. Zelfa's still a world class operator.
Yeah, absolutely.
His last two fights, so he beat Lyndon Arthur and he beat
Rory. Yeah.
He's got a tough fight next. Probably knock him out. So Zelfa's got 1 minute. So I didn't define Zelfa as a person. The fight's probably made him a better fighter. Then Mike beat up on Joshua. Look at him. He's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top world. Canelo's been beat up Mayo. And the Pacquiao's been beat. The list can go on and on and on. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, Mayweather's a one-off. But Yard himself, he's been beat. Kovalev. But I get that don't define him as a person or a fighter. Do you know what I mean? It can make you a better fighter.
So do you think with the you know, you say that almost like the Mayweather effect of glorifying that do you think that's like been detrimental slightly to getting the bigger fights made, and that some people protect their role for too long?
I don't know. There's a lot of money in boxing now, so people know that. So I guess it can be a money factor as well. Cause I believe anyone will fight for the right amount of money.
Yep.
And if a fighter believes they're worth more than they're getting offered, then why are they gonna fight?
Yep.
I also understand that aspect of the game. At Dillian White, we got offered $5 million to jump in front of Joshua back when.
Yeah.
He said no, because he's aware of the pay-per-view numbers now, and aware of what he can make. So just because he said, you know what I mean, he's aware of his. So I don't. Did you think he's scared of front of Joshua?
No,
exactly.
Yep.
So I don't think he's trying to protect losing again. I just think a lot of fighters now value the worth and see and know what other fighters are getting.
So do you think in terms of like an undefeated fight, do you think that's more of a marketing tool then for, you know, the promoters and the managers? Because if you look at, say, the UFC, you know, take away Khabib, exactly. There's not many undefeated fighters. You know, do you think it's used more as a marketing tool, and by that way that might be detrimental to the bigger fights getting made, or the undefeated versus undefeated, I should say?
Yeah, you can look at it like that as well. Probably is a better marketing sell point if two fighters undefeated or one fighter is undefeated. And, do you know what I mean? Nobody wants. Again, but from a boxing aspect as well, nobody wants to lose the all. But yeah, well, you probably could do that as well.
Yeah. So moving forward, obviously the fight's coming up on the 31st of July. What's the plans moving forward? You know, what have you got left to do in terms of camp, and you know, any little bits that you're working on?
Last couple of weeks now. Just doing what I normally do. So everything's probably the last hard week of training.
So how much do you know of Fight Week in terms of, you know, the kind of bubble that's been created and the testing, and how much do you know of that, and how much you prepared for that?
I don't know.
Right, okay. So the idea tends to be that you're going to be tested, and then you're in a hotel room on your own for 2 hours until the results come back, and it's just going to be, again, until you experience it, you're not going to really know, I guess.
Exactly, but again, that's like, that's the only difference is that I'll be in a hotel in London. I'll be something else anyway, doing nothing. So it's just part of this camp. It makes no difference to the fight.
Superb. So Lyndon, it's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you the very best for the fight, and I'm sure we'll catch up again in the future.
No doubt.
Thank you.